Hello, my name is Chris and I have owned this Panasonic G85 for a few months now, and today I will review it. I will also show you some pictures and some 4K video that this camera can do. A note that all the footage of the actual G85 camera was filmed with the Canon T7i, as you can see now. The Panasonic G85 is a mirrorless camera that uses a micro Four Thirds sensor. It is a smaller sensor than other cropped sensors commonly known as APS-C or Advanced Photo System Type C. This means the G85 sensor has a smaller area to capture a similar amount of light than other cameras. It is also smaller than a full-frame sensor that professionals use. Of note, before this camera, I used a Canon T7i. I mostly use my cameras for video. I use them 90% of the time for shooting my YouTube videos and 10% of the time shooting photography, either on vacation or on photo walks. The principal reason for an upgrade was I wanted to shoot in 4K to offer viewers a better viewing experience when watching my videos on their television or their computer monitors. For people who watch videos on a phone or a small tablet, I don't think there's much of a difference when recording in 4K. This camera is weather resistant, a big plus for outdoor shooting as you do not have to worry about rain or snow. It has worked well for me over the fall and part of the winter. The camera sports one SD slot and you need a high-speed one to record in 4K. The camera has a robust build, but my cheaper Canon feels slightly more quality in hand. The fact that G85 is mirrorless makes it more compact. Mirrorless in this case means the small viewfinder presents a digital image, not an optical image like a DSLR, which has mirrors in the camera to reflect into your eye an actual image. The kit lens is very flexible. It is a 12 to 60 f3.5 to 5.6 lens, but because the sensor is so small, you have to multiply by 2 to get the full frame equivalent, making it effectively a 24 to 120 millimeter, and that 120 millimeter is great for close-ups or shooting realistic portraits. As a reference, the Canon has an 18 to 55 kit lens. When shooting 4K at a maximum of 30 frames per second, you have a slightly increased cropped, that is to say a 2.3, and your kit lens then becomes a 28 to 138 millimeter. That's still very usable with tremendous range. G85 also comes with a lens hood, very convenient. G85 comes with optical stabilization, which really improves the look of your handheld shots. This is incredibly useful when taking pictures in low light or filming without a tripod. Often, when on vacation, we simply do not have the convenience of dragging a tripod around. Combined with its small size, I thought this camera was wonderful for travel. It costs about $1,000 Canadian, which I think is a bargain. When taking pictures, it takes 16 megapixel pictures, and when it is set to 16:9, it takes 12 megapixel pictures. It is something to think about when taking shots, as it will be slightly less flexible when cropping your pictures in post. This camera shoots RAW and JPEG and really allows you to edit your pictures well. The menu system and user interface is frustrating and unintuitive, which makes me wonder why photo reviewers consider this an entry-level camera. I could just imagine myself when I was a beginner photographer, how I would have thrown this camera in the garbage. It is so complex to use. You have to know what you are doing, as the infinite menus and fluff features will fluster people who do not have a solid background in photography. There are many customizable buttons, again, a feature for the advanced photographer. As a personal note, I bought this camera and immediately went on vacation. I had to shoot in automatic mode most of the time because it was so complex to use. If you are a beginner, the Canon Rebel series is still the best. When shooting in video, the autofocus is not as good as Canon cameras equipped with dual pixel AF. I find myself focus locking to ensure a professional shot and to avoid the focus hunting. Not ideal for vlogging, the G85 rewards with incredible 4K footage, and this is very useful for over 40% of my YouTube viewers view their videos on either a computer or a television. The details are crisp. the colors are vibrant, and the file sizes are manageable. The surprise for me was the pictures G85 takes, which has high contrast and despite the relatively small sensor was very detailed and sharp. The electric viewfinder, though clearly not as good as an optical viewfinder in terms of response, is sufficiently sharp that it isn't distracting. The smaller size of this camera is ace. Once again, traveling is wonderful with it. The flip out screen is dynamic and is easy to consult even in the sun. To recap, the low megapixel count is not a problem. The Panasonic is not user-friendly and not recommended for beginners. The video autofocus is less dynamic than Canon and Sony. The battery has a good duration, and G85 feels good enough in the hand. The Micro Four Thirds sensors are criticized for poor low-light performance, and I can confirm this, though it is not disastrous. I would certainly recommend this camera to someone like me, someone who does a lot of video but does not vlog, somebody who wants high-end video and picture results but does not want to pay thousands of dollars for his or her gear. It is an excellent all-arounder, a better build quality than the Sony 6300, which overheats and stops working. Not the case with this Panasonic. It's built very tough. But at this price, don't expect a $2,000 to $3,000 camera. It is merely an excellent $1,000 camera.